Hi class, my name is Nolan Yokogawa and I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about symbolic thought. So symbolic thought, who started it? So it was actually started by a man named Jean Piaget. Jean was a Swiss psychologist known for his work on child development. Piaget's theory of cognitive development and epistemological view are together are called genetic epistemology. Symbolic thought is a way of thinking that shows up in the thought stage of cognitive development. Pre-operational thought is the second stage in Jean Piaget's cognitive development theory. So basically, this man right here, he was really into studying children, and he developed, the cognitive development theory of how child's brains develop in the beginning of their lives. So what is symbolic thought? Symbolic thought. Symbolic thought is really a major component of pre-operational intelligence that allows a child to think symbolically, including understanding that words can refer to things not seen, and that items such as a flag can symbolize something else. So, take for example this picture right here, where the child is feeding feeding the bear tea. Obviously, most likely there's not any tea in there, and the bear obviously can't drink the tea, but it's symbolically representing, like, oh, treating it as a baby, like perhaps how the child was treated, being fed by hand drinks. So it's kind of like a real world example. So this kind of stuff, thinking symbolically, happens all the time, and you know you're gonna use that, especially kids younger. They're gonna use that for their whole lives, pretty much. Like earlier, like I said, some examples are a flag representing the country, or the colors on a stoplight. For this picture, I remember everybody used to like have the broom, and like they like try to like giddy up or whatever on the pretend that the broom was a horse, right? And that's kind of just how it goes. It's just a lot of like imagination and things like that. So why is this aspect of cognitive development important? Well, this plays a major part in developing a child's brain, and other forms of play that kids will be doing. Right. So there's pretend play, right, when kids are playing house or kids are playing restaurant. They think symbolically with like certain things. Maybe like they have a play stove. Obviously it's not a real stove. Symbolically they're treating it as a real stove, like fake food, same kind of thing. Animism is when they take um, an object that is not living or not human, and they give it human-like qualities, like the teddy bear earlier in the slide. She was treating it as a child, not as a stuffed animal. You know, and this kind of stuff is just very important. It really helps the child's brain develop, and really test the limits of a child's imaginations. So, what are some things a parent can do to help? So, there's lots of things that parents can do. First thing is obviously just giving enough time for just free time to play, for the child to play, like by themselves. Sometimes there are certain situations where parents stress like schoolwork and things like that on the child, and doesn't give them enough time to just free play, do whatever they kind of want, and just have fun and enjoy their childhood. Arranging play dates with other children, so basically like interacting with other kids that are in the same age range. This allows them to develop uh, personal relation skills, and it can also increase the possibilities of what kids can do with their imagination, with like two heads are better than one. You know what I'm saying? Other thing is, as parents, you should try and talk, read, and play with your child as much as possible. Talking and reading just to help them develop language skills, and um, talking, yeah, like language, and playing, uh, guiding the child, not taking over, but guiding it, guiding them and kind of showing them another way that they can play, perhaps, which would be very interesting and could open up the child to a new way of thinking. And another thing that I think is probably one of the most important is introducing them to as much new things, new concepts as possible. So like taking them to places that they've never been and new activities. So like going to the museum or going to the museum or taking them to the park, introducing them to different sports, different like toys and games, all just to so the child can get just lots of experiences and really satisfy the curiosity that is going on in them right now. So basically, that's kind of the conclusion for it. Symbolic thought, I think, just plays such a huge part in child development. It really affects that age range of 2 to 7. Um, it allows kids to really help develop and build a lot of good memories and have a lot of fun. And that's really what kids don't realize is when they're having fun and playing, they're also developing and learning. And I think that symbolic thought plays a huge role in that and is very important and must continue to be encouraged and influenced as we move on and we study and we learn more about the child brain. Um, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much.